Okay. So this month's February Salon, like I said, we have 42 images. John Anderson was our judge, but he couldn't be here tonight, so he handed the presentation over to our own Michael Greiner. He'll be presenting and giving everyone feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over to Michael Greiner.
Good evening, everyone. Hopefully my voice holds out. I'm an old man with a weak voice, so. All right, John's lucky enough, he's doing photojournalistic work. He's at, I think it's Turtle Mountain, North Dakota, where Lamphere is being released from prison. So he couldn't pass that up, so he had to go and see what he could do there. So I'm ready anytime you are, Mark. So get to where I can read the notes here. I think I don't want to make it hard for people, but a little light would help me for sure. You guys all right? Yeah. Okay. Dramatic, eyes easily drawn in, vibrant, a little dark right in the snow to darken the right upper corner. So kind of nitpicky because it's such a fine landscape that, you know, you kind of have to reach for things. And this was given an 8. Next. A nice portrait, good exposure, texture, and sharp. Not a whole lot of story to tell, just a good subject picture. This was given an 8. Next. Sorry, I'll get the hang of it. Nice lead in, good colors and textures. Quite a bit of discussion given to maybe a little too tight. Might be a little bit better to show the snout and stuff. Obviously, we don't know what the photographer sees, but this was given a 9. Turn flight. Next. Dramatic, well executed. Could have been more separation in the area of the eyes. Turns are always tough because they're so dark-eyed. But this was a good shot. This was given a 9. Next. Really no comments for this. It's a very good picture. The only talk I remember is it would be nice to know if there was a little bit on the left-hand side just to improve. It's a good lead-in line, but give you a little more groundwork for the lead-in. But this was given a 9. Next. A well-executed image, interesting pose, sharp, well exposed. And this was also given a 9. Next. Okay, interesting pose, sharp, well exposed. Now, I don't know how familiar you folks are with the white-breasted nuthatches. This is kind of a common look, but it's very nice. The only thing that John and I didn't agree with here, I would have liked to see more room around the bird. But if you don't have anything to show in the environment, it doesn't do you any good. But this was given a 9. Next. Nicely executed, sharp, well composed, good color. An excellent picture for a snake just sitting on a limb. It's very nice, and this was given a 9. Next. Sharp, good textures, eyes well defined, maybe crop from the right. And this was giving an 8. Next. vibrant, sharp from front to back, good textures, could be cropped from the bottom. Where do you look? So your eye kind of wanders. There's not really a center of interest, but it's still very good. And this was given an 8. Next. Very well executed, great lines, smooth, sharp, effective image. And this was given a 10. Next. Sharp, good action, well exposed. And this image was given a 9. Next. So storm clouds, this is the one that's in a different location. Okay, good clouds, sky, foreground a little bit soft. Eye wanders looking for center of interest. What is the image actually about? It doesn't give you a center of interest, but it's well done, and this is a 7. Next. Okay. Interesting subject, sharp, well exposed. And this image was given an 8. Next. Nice bird, detail in the body, a plus. Head gets lost in the wing, and it does a little bit. I think that could be improved a little bit with some dodging and burning, which is actually what John says. Crop might be too tight. Nice flight shot, and this is a 7. Next. Good effort. Lack of separation with the background is a problem. Not much more comment. That's a 7. Next. Nice subject. Good lighting. Might have been too severely cropped. Lost texture and detail in the body. Distracting elements. Crops some of the left. And this was given a 7. Next. Lyrical image. Vibrant. Good textures. Composition. Works. Then this is a 9. Next. You'd see he didn't record any comments here, but I remember we thought, and I agree, it was a great composition. I like the birds looking at each other, a simple composition that works, and this was given a 10. Next. I'm going to take a drink of water, Mark. Pardon my voice, folks. Oh, I see what's going on. So I'm going to give, can you go back one? He just had it in a different line. Nicely executed silhouette, nothing to improve. That was a 10. Grand Teton at sunrise. So comments have been cut off on this. As I recall, he thought that the image was perhaps a little bit blue, like how the highlights do separate with the clouds and the mountains exist there, but think that it would greatly improve if the clouds were a little bit bluer. Now, I don't know if it looks as blue on the computer as it does here, but it does. Yeah, the shadows are kind of blue, and this was given a 7. Next. Great photographic opportunity. The water action and subject all came together nicely. Execution could be improved because the sharpness and exposure are off. and this was a 7. Next. Appealing subject, good action, eye drawn ineffectively, sharp, good wing position, might be improved by cropping the lower part of the image. Now, this is one of the areas where John and I do butt heads from time to time. I like having more environment in there. If you get it too tight, it looks like a picture you're going to put as a subject matter in a book to learn about birds. So I do like that, but this was given a 9. Next. Beautiful colors, bird position is good. Extra twig is a problem, which of course we all wish we could remove such things. And this was given an 8. Next. Nice subject, good position, sharp blacks. Blacks are too dark, loss of detail. Tighten crop suggested. Now that's another one that's debatable. I like the bird looking into the area which it would go to and add it to the environment, but that's a subjective choice, and that was given a 7. Next. Sharp, tender moment, good interaction, trying to do too much with the composition. It's hard to not include the entire antler, but we'll lose the story. So you need more of the animals or less and not worry about the antlers, bring it in and get the emotions of the portrait. And this picture was given a 7. Next. Really like the image, strong composition, colors are great. The eye is drawn into the center of interest. Bright spot is a problem that would be fixable. And as you can see on the island behind the trees and on the computers, it's quite light. They brought up the trees and the color pretty good, but it left artifacts of white behind the trees. And this was given a 7. Next. Nice low contrast, good texture, effective composition, nice use of thirds. Might consider flipping in order to draw your eye from the soft to the sharp. And we don't have the opportunity to do that, seeing these, but I would think that I kind of agree with that a little bit, and this was given an 8. Next. Sharp, good colors, nice texture, composition problem. Room for a wider crop. Subject's hot, and it might benefit if there was better separation in the bird so it doesn't get lost in the body. But obviously it is what it is. And this is a 7. Next. Sharp, good colors, nice texture, composition problems. Where do you look? Again, you're drawn in to the log, and it's a nice scene, but there's only so much you can do. Some pictures, you get everything you want, but the composition isn't in the scene to get a higher score, and this was a 7. Next. Good exposure, sharp, would improve the composition a little bit because on the right and stuff, I think I would agree to lose some of the right, but this picture was given an 8. Next. Well done, sharp, good composition, vibrant, great detail. And this picture was given a 10. Next. Sharp, well exposed, and if was horizontal, we feel it would have been a stronger image. And this was given a 9. Next. Vibrant, nice contrasting colors, would have been a 10 if full body was sharp. It does fall off a little bit, and as it is, it was given a 9. Next. Okay, that's on. Nice layering, sky and centered composition works, but it's oversaturated. Would have been an 8, which it's going to be a 7, had the blue, say the second layer going in is over blue in the middle round, had not been so overexposed. Composition does work with a centered cactus, but the bluing just keeps it from being an 8. Next. Nice image, interesting subject, hot spots, which I agree. And it's mine, so I can do that, but increased contrast, which I would have to agree with too. And this was an 8. Next. Amazing detail, sharp, well exposed, a little tight, and it was given a 9. Had it not been so tight, I think it would have ranked a 10. Next. Well executed across the board. Would have been a 10 if the flower were farther along, meaning I think he was wishing it was a different time, but you know, it's subjective, and this was given a 9. Next. Overall, a pleasant view, draws your eye in, but no payoff. Again, it's a good scene, but there's not really a center of interest, so your eye does seem to wander. And this was given a 7. Next. Sharp, good storytelling, well composed. Like the framing and the panel look, and this was given a 10. Next. Always an interesting subject, shot in harsh light, lost detail in the face, and a bit contrasty. All things that you can't hardly avoid when you're out hunting owls, especially when it's kind of dark. And this was given a 7. Next. Well done overall. Could benefit from more depth of field in the back, meaning you can see the far right, that face is a little bit out of focus. And with them sitting there and cooperating, that could have been picked up. And this is given an 8. Next. Nice composition, contrasting colors are nice, maybe a bit dark and underexposed. And this was given an 8. And I believe that's it. And we have time. I'd like to mention too, a lot of you know John, I'm sure. And John, he's kind of taken me under his wing after my wife died and showing me around and different things. And we do butt heads, which I told him I would never judge again and I won't ever do programs and stuff, but he's trying to get me away from that. And so maybe that'll work, maybe it won't, but he's an amazing photographer and a wonderful fella. So I think you guys that know him would probably agree. Yep. So can I make one announcement too? So on the 9th of March, there's going to be a show at the Cuba Gallery, and it's the Isaac Walton in Bloomington. It's going to be called the Buffalo, Bighorn, and Bobcats. And John's going to have stuff on display there. I will, several other photographers and stuff. And if you have the time, it runs from 1 to 4, and then it'll be for 2 or 3 weeks. But I just want to invite everybody to take a look. Oh, no. I'm sorry. March 9th. A Sunday it opens at 1. Good. Thank you. There'll be some good work there too. Oh, did you need these?
No, I get to read them off. Can someone just lower the lights just a little bit and then we'll read off the 8s, 9s, and 10s. All right, for the 8s. Paul Cameron, Morning at Lake Moraine. Michael Sweet, Woodchuck. John Metzger, Cody. Kwati? Oh, Kawati. John Metzger, Fruit Loop Keel Build Toucan. Rick Graves, Rockies, Fall Color. Michael Greiner, Knee Peep. Michael Sweet, Cedar Waxwing. Marianne Sear, Prairie Smoke Blooms. Michael Greiner, Golden Great Gray. Michael Shoup, An Overworked Mom. Don Specht, Sunflowers in the Snow. For the 9s. Dave Hoyt, Gator Eye Sunset. Kristen Hoyt, Turn Flight. Mark Ye, Shivering Pines. Marianne Sear, Bighorn on the Run. Barry Mullen, Just Hanging Around. Carl Feigenschuh, Green Vine Snake. Rosalind Long, Great Gray in Motion. Alan Schultz, Wolf's Milk Slime Mold. Paul Cameron, Great Gray Owl Takeoff. Kaneen Karatikin, Grasshopper with Autumnal Colors. Rosalind Long, Green-Eyed Tree Frog. D. Honeysett Dritz, Wood Stork. John Penoyer, April Snow Pascal Flower. For the 10s. Kaneen Karatikin, Water Striders. Rob Schultz, Herons Holding Court. Rick Graves, Bumblebee on Sneezeweed. Alan Schultz, Patagonian Crested Duck Trio. And that's it. Good night. Drive safe.